Have you ever heard the phrase, get used to it because college is going to be much more stressful? Or have you ever wondered why a college student drops out of a class because it is too much stress? Well, stress can be both a detrimental and beneficial thing to a college student's career. Hi, I'm Alana Zavera, and I'll be talking to you about how the need to get good grades can affect a college student and their ability to learn in class. First, let's start with the scientific part of it all. Here we have two pictures of the hippocampus. In this picture, you can more easily see its position, that being between your temporal lobe. In this picture, you can more easily see its form. The hippocampus is important because it takes care of your memory, learning, and mood. If there is any change done to the hippocampus, it can affect the way you obtain and maintain information. Now, this is what a healthy hippocampus looks like, but unhealthy hippocampus is actually much more smaller, meaning that this part of the brain can actually shrink up if it is put under abnormal circumstances. Professor Ian Hickey from the University of Sydney conducted an experiment that resulted in the fact that the more episodes of depression a person is in, the higher the reduction in the hippocampal size. You may wonder, how is depression connected to stress? Well, stress releases cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, and cortisol affects serotonin and many other neurotransmitters. The serotonin is most important because it is known by many researchers as a chemical that is the one that maintains mood control, and if there is any deficit in serotonin, it can lead to depression. Meaning that so far we know that that stress can not only have a mental effect on you, but also a physical one. Okay. Doctors Shannon Ross, Thomas Niebling, and Stancy Hucker conducted an experiment on 100 healthy undergraduates about the 4 different types of stresses for a college student. 4 different types of stresses were interpersonal stress, intrapersonal, academic, and environmental. The top 2 sources of stress ended up being academic and interpersonal relationships. Here we have the chart for the academic results. As you can see, the people that said that the highest time that they felt stressed was 73% was when they had increased class workload, while the second highest with 68% was lower grade than anticipated. Dr. Ranjita Mishra wrote a book about how managing stress can affect a college student and how stress affects a college student's ability to learn. She resulted in the fact that students report experiencing stress at predictable times, with one of the greatest sources of academic stress being grade competition, meaning that students already knew when their most stressful times of the year would be, which could most likely be during their finals week, for example. The Department of Physiology from Yale University conducted an experiment on July of 2017 on 64 healthy undergraduates about the way that stress can be helpful for a college student. They came upon with stress shifts behavioral control by promoting habits while decreasing goal-directed behaviors through reward-based decision-making. Meaning that stress can actually motivate a college student to perform their tasks more efficiently, because stress is also known by many researchers as a boost of energy that can guide an individual into what to do. Doctors Nancy Upjohn and Thomas Woodworth conducted an experiment on the pros and cons of stress and how to manage it. They came upon 2 triggers for stress: external triggers and internal triggers. External triggers are like things like getting a bad grade, while internal triggers are like having high expectations on yourself. They said that these 2 things can actually be a good thing because it can motivate someone, like I said before, to perform their tasks more efficiently and also have their assignments done on time. But if it is taken out of proportion, it can actually hurt the student and give them with long or short-term problems like depression or failed classes. So therefore, they made a list of signs of too much stress in college students. The list goes from skipping class to not being able to concentrate to changes in eating habits and sleeping habits. So they recommended that the best way to control all of this is by improving their skills in time management, and which could help them with stress management and also have time for relaxation. Thank you. What questions do you have?
Thank you, ma'am. I have 2 questions for you. As you did your research, how did you handle the different perspectives, the different lenses, in order to reach your conclusion?
Well, at first, before I started my research, I wasn't really sure about the lenses that I could talk about this. But the more I saw into it, I realized how like this could help people in the future and how it could improve in the future, and the history about behind it and the way that it affects the social like life of the students.
All right, and what advice would you have for researchers? Let me take that back. What advice would you have for young adults that are about to enter college and dealing with their stress?
Well, my advice would be to start getting like used to the work, like the amount of work that they have for college and high school, like many of us are doing here, by taking college classes and by taking AP courses, which can help us with all the stuff that will come in college and help us get prepared for that.
All right, cool. Thank you.